and Prost has yet to take his fellow Frenchman, René Arnoux, who says, the reason I'm going so slow these days is that I'm used to turbo cars, and these normally aspirated engine cars are a very different kettle of fish to drive, he says.
And all I can say to that is bullshit.
Fourth is Fittipaldi, fifth is Berger, sixth is Brundle, Martin Brundle from King's Lynn, and so it would seem, oh my goodness, as I say that, out goes Martin Brundle in the Ligier. Empty Ligier, which they get, now you can see what I'm talking about. Watch those two wheels, never mind, some other time perhaps. Here we are, watch those two wheels.
Or car, yes, is that Brundle? No, that's Blundell. You were right. First Blundell. He lapped Martin Brundle. Now he's lapping Mark Blundell, who is his teammate. And if you're a Japanese broadcaster, the two are basically the same name.
Especially they all got Japanese sponsors, because they're going to get a lot of airtime in Japan.
That's right.
The gap in the Armco. I hate to say this, but a lot of people here are really debating whether Ricardo Rosset is Formula One material.
Well, it's a fairly short debate, Murray.
End of message.
Okie dokie. I think that's a no. Oh well, that's not going to spoil my life.
Look at me, Mum. I'm in a racing car, says the marshal, and the car is pulled off.
Prost is going to have in the race with his passing the Williams. Whoops! And Mansell just managed to hold it with the Dallara in front of him, and really that was to Cesaris, doing his usual performance, taking no notice of the leaders, lapping him, and really and now we see it again, and you'll see that Mansell is coming inside. He should know he's there, he's leading the race, and look at this idiot. And it really...
Here is race leader Nigel Mansell. He comes up alongside and takes down the Alio. They clip each other, and that's where Alio went off yesterday. Mansell hit him, and he's through. Mansell, he seems to be unharmed and is in the lead still.
Yes, and Mansell was very lucky to not be taken off by that ridiculous piece of driving by Alio, who didn't even look at his mirrors. He didn't even know Mansell was there. And the man who crashes at every Grand Prix anyway, Alio, in practice, he's already managed one this weekend in practice, has taken himself out of the race.
We've said in the past that Jean-Pierre Jarier is not always the easiest man in the field to pass. Is he going to be difficult again?
And it's given Arnoux an opportunity to have a sharp look at Tombe's. I think the trouble is it hasn't really helped Arnoux, because with Jarier there as well, as usual, getting in the way, and he's managed to hold them up for two corners now, and it really is completely out of order. A driver of his experience, and Arnoux is getting through, he's getting alongside. Tambe's cracking at it the other side, but can't, and he'll be thanking Jarier probably with a knuckle sandwich after the race, I think, for that. And as Piquet pulling through on the inside, I think, has just nipped through inside, and Jarier really is completely out of order. I mean, he really shouldn't be allowed to drive in Grand Prix racing. He is, he's got a mental age of 10 in the first place, and that was absolutely disgraceful for a driver of his experience.
And there we see Jean Alesi proving again that it is possible to spin in every single session here at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, off again for Alesi, and it looks as though he may have stalled it this time.
Then he's at the exit of the Castrol. He's now getting out. He's taken the wheel off. Car in a very precarious situation. Eddie Irvine comes around. This is possibly a red flag situation. I just wonder, will that be the case? There's a lot of gravel on the racetrack as well. Now, oh, look at that Ricardo Rosset, you fool. Do you not use your eyesight? Do you not realize that there are waved yellow flags around the circuit? Have you not read your rule book that says when there's a waved yellow flag, there's a hazard on the circuit?
We've been talking in relative terms to the Honda engines, and here we see a replay. That's the Lola Lamborghini of Alio, looking to be having his usual accident. It's not, it's fairly standard for Alio to have an off at least. Well, that wasn't an accident, just a minor excursion, very minor by his standards.
Have a word with this guy, because he's complete and utter fruitcake.
Yeah, I'm currently writing a musical about the life and times of Rasputin the Mad Monk, and we just got they're allowing it to go on Broadway.
All right, I'll try and think of a question for that answer.
And oh, waltzing in beautiful harmony. Whether they made contact or not, it was hard to see, but it was very elegant.
OK, there was a spinner there. Looks like Mark Brundle. Hakkinen pirouetted in sympathy. I would give that 8 out of 10, I think. That was a rather nice little manoeuvre.
We'll see. And Patrese done it. He's towed past him on the straight. And so that was a pity we missed that. But obviously the Brabham got into the draft, and Patrese having a little celebratory twitch. No problem there. That wasn't a mistake. He was just giving a bit of exuberance on the throttle to put the back out. Now he's in the lead, and well pleased he should be. Heading now, he's only got to stand up, and the car's got to hold together to win this race, because he's quicker than Tambay, and Tambay really should have no reply. But Tambay is not giving out. Patrese! Oh dear, that's a terrible mistake by Patrese. Only got to stand up, I said, and I have to say that looked like a real bit of Italian temperament from Riccardo Patrese, and the crowd have indeed confirmed that they prefer cars to people, because they've gone wild with delight, which is also fairly standard in their normal sporting behaviour.
As he was in Brazil.
His teammate Damon Hill, and that's Suzuki, spinner of the year, having yet another spin. He had umpteen spins this weekend through Thursday, Friday and Saturday. He's just adding to what's already a very large score.
Senna ahead of the footwork of the revolving Suzuki. He's not revolving at the moment, but as James said earlier on, he's had more spins than I've had hot dinners this weekend.
James, you're too old to have driven here, really.
I am too old to have driven here, but shame he wasn't fast enough to get to Formula One. Give you a lucky.
No, he did, you're right, he did go off. Cool, crikey, he's whacked it around. I beg your pardon, I thought he'd headed straight into the pit road, but he probably doesn't realise he's on fire.
It seems strange that he's got a couple of mirrors on the car that he can't see that.
Of track, and as we all know, Andrea de Cesaris is not the easiest man in the world to pass, but Roberto Moreno, of course, will want to do very well here, being another Brazilian.
Now, come on, David. I get a lot of letters from fans saying, lay off Andrea de Cesaris. Other guys crash too, you know.
They do?
Seems to be a new man this year. My goodness, that Marshall needs his brains testing. Roberto Moreno, the cheerful little Brazilian, great friend of Nelson Piquet, was in 11th place when he retired. There he is, helmet off. He certainly looks a lot older than he is, Roberto Moreno. He's 32 years old.
Well, unfortunately, the importance of all that was missed by shoddy camera work and bad direction, because if we'd had a wide shot of the chicane, we could have seen Piquet, it looked, was trying to get up the inside of Alboreto, and that must have slowed him right down, because Nicky got the run on him coming out of the chicane and actually passed him on the straight. But that's looked very much the end for Nelson Piquet as far as winning this race is concerned, although of course Nicky still has to get past Alboreto. Now Piquet seems to be dropping back, which is odd. Maybe he made contact with Alboreto. Maybe we'll never know unless this wretched director goes off and watches some other motor races first and comes back and you know something about it.
Of course, which enables him to come in heaven knows what that idiot was doing running across the pit lane there.
The off curve at the far end and back, and there is another good view.
Look at that! Tire and wheel off now. What did it come off? I can't. Well, let's have a look. There's a car somewhere with only 3 wheels on it. Well, would you believe it? well, it's not the McLaren anyway.
Missed the presentation by Pele.
Yeah.
Will you get over it?
Yeah, I was having a
Obviously, you'll have a nice light car on the grid then.
Still leading by an ever-increasing margin. Now he's down to Beckett and he goes through. Alan Jones then has successfully lapped Jean-Pierre Jarier through. James.
Well, we've seen an example of the differences between some drivers. We've seen some drivers letting Alan Jones through quite rightly, behaving themselves, and you've seen the sort of pig ignorance that you'd expect from Jarier there going on, because he's really made an idiot of himself, and you saw that from Jackie Hicks, which is surprisingly one so experienced, but I think he's suffering from old age a bit, because not only did he not let Alan through, make Alan have to force his way through, which meant either he wasn't looking in his mirrors or he was half asleep, and he then proceeded to pass him on the straight and harass him down the straight. Jarier tends to drive like that.
Looked at it very closely. I've driven 158 Grand Prix. I've seen the TV, so I commentated on it live.
Well, you only think that because you don't know the facts.
Okay, then we have to beg to differ, but thanks for your opinion. Surely we just have to have a sensible pill and go motor racing.
Tell me where we can buy the pills.
We need to talk to Mrs. Ecclestone.
Just coming through, and and a tremendous effort also by the McLaren team. It's been a wonderful Foster's Australian Grand Prix. I've enjoyed the sponsor's product plentifully, and